Now they're going to miss all the fun.
Okay, our next order of business is the Employee Freedom to Act resolution presented by Commissioner Gillman. Jason, you have the floor.
Good evening, everybody, and I thank you all for being here. This is no agenda of mine. I'm not using this to launch myself in any particular direction politically. In fact, it's entirely possible that the next term finds me back doing what I do best, and that's selling cameras. But this is something that I feel is right, and I did prepare a statement so that I can present it a little bit more directly.
Okay.
You know, Independence Day was only 2 days ago. You know, it's a celebration, a declaration that this country would not bow any longer to a king whose interests ran contrary and were not those of the colonies. How fitting that at this time we have an opportunity to see another Declaration of Independence. This last Thursday, a coalition of union workers, both current and former, along with other supporters, stood before news cameras and microphones throughout the state and declared that they too shall be free to pursue their craft and their trades, free with the ability to join or create a representative union, yet not be bound to do so or pay for that effort if the union does not represent their best interest, without fear of losing their jobs. It is the freedom that was crafted by our nation's founders, an individual's right to choose, to express a disinterest in collective acts that are disagreeable, or to join those which serve best. It is the exercise of choice, independence, freedom, and opportunity to bring about a new entrepreneurial element to those who would represent the state's workers. It's also about competition and jobs. While the moral aspect of the legislation means that a third party cannot keep a worker away from a job for lack of payment to an agency that may not represent that worker either marginally or in whole, the business aspect is also quite appealing. You know, business placement has become more competitive in this country. Michigan has lost opportunities to other states because they've offered a right-to-work environment. Companies such as Volkswagen have demonstrated with their feet that forced unionization in Michigan was not as desirable as a state like Virginia for its U.S. headquarters, which moved there in 2007, and an expansion later on in Tennessee, which is also a right-to-work state. Boeing itself having made the news recently because of its desire to expand in a right-to-work environment, South Carolina. Right-to-work states fare better in these competitive times. Growth is higher, household income is higher, where jobs are more plentiful. Upward pressure on wages must happen for an employer's ability to keep those best employees. The employers must be more competitive in hiring. Union membership in right-to-work states is very strong. As much as some might consider this a union-busting measure, the need for negotiators can be as strong or stronger where there are more jobs to fill. The top 5 creating job states in the last decade, Texas, Florida, Arizona, Virginia, and Nevada, all right-to-work states. The bottom 5 states in that category, California, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan being dead last, all forced unionization states. This data is verifiable through the government website, Bureau of Labor Statistics, U.S. Department of Labor. Over the last decade, real personal income has grown twice as fast in right-to-work states. In right-to-work states, income growth 28.3% on the average. In forced unionism states, only 14%. This data is also verifiable. And what about the families? Those who have children seeking other employment opportunities in other states would be less inclined to do so. The disintegration of family units due to welfare, lack of work, and money issues would be lessened, as demonstrated by a study of U.S. Administration and Children and Families, also U.S. Census data. Welfare recipients per 1,000 residents, this is a 2009 average. In right-to-work states, there were 7.6 per 1,000 residents. In forced unionism states, there were 17.3 per 1,000 residents. This is not or should not be a partisan issue, and unfortunately it's been made one. All of our workforce would prosper through right-to-work legislation and the associated benefits of more jobs, through strengthened families and a renewed Michigan. And for the time being, I'll